12-year-old Brittany Mae Smith is abducted, and police just issue an Amber Alert. Cops say Brittany is in extreme danger, believed to be taken by 32-year-old Jeffrey Scott Easley. Police issue the Amber Alert after they discover Brittany's mom, Tina Smith, dead inside the family home. Brittany nowhere to be found. Just what does a 32-year-old man allegedly want with a 12-year-old girl?
We are taking your calls out to Cheryl in Ohio. Hi, Cheryl.
Hi, Nancy. How are you?
I'm good, dear. What's your question?
It's more a statement.
Okay.
I don't understand, why is it that these women move these guys in that they're not married to, have young girls, and then the mother end up dead, and the girls either end up missing or dead themselves?
Or molested. Or molested, Cheryl in Ohio. Cheryl, I don't know. And I got to tell you something. Over all the years, 10 years that I prosecuted felony crimes, violent crimes, I saw it over and over and over. Women will let men move in. They will turn a blind eye to the husband, the boyfriend, the live-in, the guy they're dating, while they molest the child. Now, granted, the molestation is not happening, out on the dining room table. It's behind closed doors when the mom's not around. But there are signs that it's happening. They don't want to believe it. It's a phenomenon. And I would look at the moms and go, you know what? You make me sick because you've allowed this to happen. But I don't know that that's the case here. I don't know that the mom had any inkling about what's going on. Unleash your lawyers again. Sue Moss, Joe Lawless, Hugo Rodriguez. Hugo Rodriguez right now, Jeff Easley, age 32, is on the run, we believe, with this little girl. There he is in the bottom corner. Jeffrey Easley, white male, hazel eyes, brown hair, 5'11", 265 pounds. A friend of Tina Smith's. Now we know her boyfriend. What is your advice tonight, Rodriguez?
I would tell Easley to make the girl available. There are manner and means. We need to get this girl back safely. After that, we'll talk about his defense, his representation, and turning him in. The most paramount thing is getting this girl back safely. It is not going to do us any good for him to be on the run. Only bad things can happen.
To Dr. Panchali Dar, Doctor of Internal Medicine, author of Before the Scalpel. Dr. Dar is joining us from New York. Doctor, the police initially said they couldn't tell if it was homicide or not. What modes of death would lend themselves to that kind of statement?
Nancy, all you're telling me is that there's a dead body in the room or in the house. What does that mean? She could have been strangled, she could have been shot, she could have been stabbed. If that's not an obvious sign, she could have been poisoned. I mean, it's entirely possible that he drugged her and then she dropped dead soon after and ran off with the child. So that
I agree with you, Dr.
autopsy.
Dar. With us, Dr. Panchali Dar, also taking your calls live. When I first heard the police release that they could not determine, they could not deduce whether it was a homicide, I thought it either had to be asphyxiation, for instance, putting a pillow over her face, some kind of a strangulation, not with ligature, which would leave a mark, possible poisoning, or set up to look like a suicide, like a shot to the head, maybe. But now we are learning through sources from Nicole Parton that they do believe it's homicide. Back to Nicole Parton, investigative reporter. What more can you tell us about the case, Nicole?
Well, Nancy, we are hearing from the detectives there involved that they do believe this to be a homicide. They are giving us no specific cause of death, being very tight-lipped around the death, and are focusing primarily on this 12-year-old daughter who's missing. Another interesting point of the story that I noticed, there are family members who say that they saw the 41-year-old mother, Tina, Mr. Easley, and the young daughter during the Thanksgiving holiday. There is a family member who says she phoned Miss Smith and said there's something not right between Easley and your 12-year-old daughter. Miss Smith in return said he will be moving out soon. Yes, he lives in the home now, but he will be moving out soon. This poses new questions. Was she beginning to separate from him? Did she realize something was going on and was trying to get rid of him? Lots to be determined there in this statement from her saying, yes, he lives here, but he's getting out.
Now, Nicole Parton, investigative reporter, joining us tonight out of Chattanooga, Tennessee. That's an eye-opener. Okay, so, you know what? Tell me again. You're telling me relatives that saw them over Thanksgiving, that's just a couple of weeks ago, saw what?
Thanksgiving dinner. They leave, and a relative phones Miss Smith and says, I don't like what I saw between your boyfriend and your daughter. Something is uneasy. I'm feeling uneasy. I didn't like what I saw. Something is wrong with this relationship. And Miss Smith says he's getting out. We're not clear. Was she going to put him out? Was she asking him to leave? Had he chosen to leave on his own? But she did tell this family member he will be moving in a short time.
Well, that leads me into a whole complete different deduction. Back to you, Alexis Weed. It sounds to me like she confronted him. I mean, Thanksgiving's been just a couple of weeks ago. Confronted him about moving him out, and he retaliated.
Could be, Nancy. The other interesting thing about this story is that we don't know. There's still a question about how long Easley was there. We don't know when he arrived. But we do know that these charges that you were talking about, his previous charges, they were all in North Carolina. And as far as we can tell, he has a couple traffic citations in Salem where he lists his address, his home address, as Salem, Virginia. And those charges are in August and September of this year.
A 7th grade little girl is in danger tonight. Every hour counts. If you don't believe he would hurt her, look what happened to her mother. Out to the lines, Deborah in Kentucky. Hi, Deborah.
Hi there. I was wondering, maybe he got scared and took off, and y'all are maybe looking for the wrong person?
Okay, then explain the dead body.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, okay. Scared of what, Deborah in Kentucky? What do you think he's scared of?
Getting caught for other crimes.
Okay, what other crime would that be?
Not sure.
Okay, got any other answers to any of those questions? You say he took off because he's scared. Scared of what? Being caught for another crime. What crime is that? Don't know. So where's the little girl, Deborah in Kentucky? Is she hiding under the table?
Oh.
No, I think maybe another person had done the crime, and with the other guy having a background with a record, got scared and heard about the crime.
Okay, you know what, Deborah, doesn't make any sense. But you know what? Sometimes fact is stranger than fiction. To Ruth in Indiana. Hi, Ruth. I think I've got Ruth in Indiana. Ruth, are you with me?
That was
Hi.
rude.
Hi, dear. What's your question?
Has anyone talked to Brittany's friends to see if she's mentioned a relationship with this guy?
Excellent question. To Sheila Ellis, reporter for the Roanoke Times, joining us there on the scene. Sheila, what do we know about this little girl's friends?
Nancy, we do not have any information on any of Brittany's friends.
You know, isn't she on Facebook? Wouldn't she have friends listed there?
Yes, she is on Facebook. We've reached out to some of her friends. We have not heard from them.
Mark Harrell, wouldn't that be one of the first things police should do other than talk to family, friends, and neighbors?
Absolutely. It'd be one of the first things they would do with Facebook. The social medium can be very helpful. It does give you a list of friends. It also may have some back and forth, you know, in the postings that tell a little bit about something. You can also ask some of those friends when that name change happened and try to get some information. But you've got to talk to her friends. There's no way.
Hey, Mark, when you're saying the name change, tell the viewers that are just joining us what you're talking about.
Well, as I understand it, at some point she used his last name, Easley. And that probably might not have been the name she used at the very beginning when she had people joining her as friends when she started her Facebook account. So if that changed over time and people noticed that, they may have asked questions. She may have given some explanation. Could lead to, you know, what mindset she was in when all of this started.
She may have two
Whatever
Facebook
mindset
pages.
she's in, she's a 12-year-old girl. She cannot be complicit in any relationship with a 32-year-old man. Everyone, quickly, I want to tell you about